What is up, folks? It is SnakeMCGaming, aka Josh, here, and we are back with another episode of Minecraft here. So it's not really back, because today we're starting. It's kind of a new beginning sort of thing, because we are. Don't worry, I'm not starting over on my survival games on my Let's Play. Nope, this is a new series called It's Modding Time. That's right. This is the series where I review. And, well, maybe not review, well, I guess kind of review slash showcase slash just show you guys, I guess that's what a showcase is, all of these, some interesting mods that I find on the interwebs, and ones that I think are cool, and maybe some that might be a little more obscure. I don't know how huge this one is. I've never seen a review for it, so, yeah. Without further ado, let's get started. This mod is called the Cyan Swords mod, and it adds a number of different swords to the game of Minecraft, and all of them are very easily craftable. Every single item is easy to get, save for maybe a couple of them. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started with the Earth Sword mod. The Earth Sword. The Earth Sword. What am I talking about? Alright, so this is the Earth Sword. It's crafted with one blaze rod and 2 pieces of dirt on top of each other like a sword. And it creates an Earth Sword. Now this Earth Sword has a 5 heart damage and a 2,000 hit duration. When you right click it, it summons 4 dirt pillars around you. So, let's say you're getting chased by mobs, and, oh, you hear an arrow come at you. You turn around, you see the skeleton, you go, boom! Get behind the pillar, block that arrow, yeah! These, the forum itself said that it is made specifically for, the use of defenses. So, yeah, I believe that is the only effect that it has. Yes, that is. But let's go ahead and see. It's got 5 heart... Oh, you know what? I'm on peaceful. There we go. It's got a 5 heart damage. So... 2, 3. Well, I see that took 3 hits. I believe there are 10 hits, but I don't know what it is like for, regular old mobs and stuff. I did just realize that I forgot to do one tiny little thing. I will be right back, guys. And we are back, guys, and I decided to make my little pillar Romanish arena thingy that I'm gonna summon mobs on, so that they don't die from the sun, and I can just smack them with my sword for 5. So it takes 5 hits. So it says it has a damage of 5. I don't know if that damage of 5 means 5 hearts or what. So, why is that there? So, that is the Earth Sword. Alright. Oh, also, one thing I forgot to mention. The Earth Sword also adds, I think, like 5 minutes of resistance, it said. Alright, onward, next to the Water Sword. Now, the Water Sword is made by having 1 stick, 2 water buckets, and 4 pieces of glass. You do get your buckets back when you make the sword as well. So, the Water Sword also does 5 damage. It lasts for a duration of 1,000 hits, I believe. Its ability is, when you do this little right click, it summons 4 columns of water around you. That would make it pretty hard for the mobs to get you now, wouldn't it? And that is about all it does. 4 columns around it, and you can breathe underwater for what looks like... Here, let's go into the water and do it, just so that it doesn't screw with me. It adds... It looks like 1 minute of breathing underwater abilities. So, yeah, that is the Water Sword. And let me just clear this water out of here, please, because that's gonna get annoying. There we are. Alright, water's gone. Let us continue on with the tour. Alright, next sword is the Fire Sword. And that is made by putting a blaze rod and 2 blaze powders in a crafting grid, like so. And this bad boy little fire sword does 6 damages, 6 heart damage. It also, alright, well, I wasn't paying attention where I was going. Alright, it does 6 hearts of damage. When you right-click it, it summons 4 fire around you, like so. And it adds fire resistant for 5 minutes. That is pretty awesome, but you can only breathe underwater. And I do believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe that when you hit an enemy with it, it catches them on fire. Indeed it does. Alright. Alright, that is the fire sword. Alright, we're going to leave that fire burning, because it's not like it's that big of a deal. Okay. Next sword in our inventory is the Thunder Sword, and you use, to craft that, you must place a blaze rod on top, and then 2 redstone blocks on top. So it's a little more expensive than all of the other swords, but it's a little more OP as well, and I'll show you why. When you use the Thunder Sword, it will do something similar to all the other ones. Summons 4 lightning bolts around you and gives you speed boost. Whee! 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 What speed is that, by the way? It's just regular speed. But look at that amazingness. You get a speed boost and everything when you just boom die. Oh yeah, that is sexy, baby. So that's pretty awesome. So you can like whenever you're fighting a mob, you can just let's see if this works. Boom! Catch on fire! And then you can fight them. And if you're getting overrun, you can run away really quick. Whee! Alright. Well, that's going to be on me for, like, ever. Okay, so next sword is, alright, that'll go away soon. Alright, so that is the Thunder Sword. Next sword will be the Wind Sword. And it is crafted with 2 blaze rods, a stick in the middle, 2 iron ingots on top, and 4 feathers around it. Now, this Wind Sword, as you can see, is equipped with Knockback 10. And basically, that is what the Wind Sword does. It grants the user a knockback of 10. Oh, and it also adds super jump as well. So, be careful with that. Just FYI, when you right-click it, it grants the super jump ability. You notice I'm jumping much higher, and then if you right-click it, it launches you way into the air. When it activates the power, it launches you extremely far into the air. Now, I'll go ahead and demonstrate on this pig how far this thing gets knocked back, too. Boo! Oh, that's too cool. Alright, it looks like we got speed off now, so... Yeah. Oh, and it adds... Oh, it looks like it... Yeah, okay, it adds speed for a minute as well. So that's cool. Oops. Alright, here we go. So on to the next one. And that, my friends, is the Wind Sword. Next sword is going to be the Light Sword. This one is a little bit harder to craft because you definitely need to go to the Nether for it. Well, you need to go to the Nether for most of these swords. But this one, you have to collect 2 gas tiers and 2 golden nuggets. So it's not too hard. You just got to kill a bunch of gas. That's the hardest part. Oh, and of course the blazes that takes to get all these blaze rods. So that's the challenging part of having these awesome swords. But if you do that, that creates the Light Sword, and you just put them in the crafting bench like so. And it has the Light Sword. The Light Sword, oh, by the way, I totally didn't tell you the damage of the Thunder Sword. The Thunder Sword has a damage of 6 and a duration of 1,000 hits. Okay, so the same as with the Wind Sword, except the Wind Sword has a damage of 5 instead of 6. Now, the Light Sword has a damage of 6 and a duration of 1,000, and its special abilities, it adds weakness and blindness to the mobs, and grants you night vision, and turns you invisible. So if we go into... No, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong button. F5 mode. I'm not here! Oh my god, it's crazy! Alright. And, except for when, of course, I'm holding the sword, then you can see me. That's so cool. Alright, so let's go ahead and summon our mob here, and we'll see how he reacts when I smack him with the sword. So now he's blind, so now he can't see me. Although it's a little weird that he's still following me, even though he's not supposed to be able to see me. So maybe that might be a bug or something. You smack a pig, though, and he goes, nuts! Ah! Alright, that is light sword. And, on to the next one. What was the other? I feel like I'm not jumping that high anymore. Oh, wait, never mind. That's because I don't have the jump boost on. That's right, it grants you night vision as well. But, obviously, you know, it's not nighttime, so we can't see that. You guys know what night vision looks like. I can't really turn at nighttime. I got a command block around here. Changing it to time set day every time I want to use it so that the sun doesn't go down and I have to keep clicking it. Alright, so next sword is called the opposite of. It's the Dark Sword. Now, the Dark Sword has 6 damage and a duration of 1,000. Its abilities is adds Wither and Blindness to mobs, grants night vision, invisibility, and blindness to the player as well, which is a little weird. I don't know what blindness looks like, so boom. And see, now you can see he's taking wither damage from this, and it looks like it's gonna stay until he dies, because I can't tell. It does. It stays until he dies. Alright, so let's go ahead and right click it. Okay, that's what blindness does. So that is the negative effect of using that mod. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drink this thing of milk to get those effects off of me. Alright, that's good. I don't know why I didn't think of doing that before. Okay, so now that I drank my milk, that is the darkness one. The darkness one. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna keep this with me just so that I can get rid of these effects. And so finally, oh, got a little bit of lag going on. Sorry about that. There it goes. Alright, the final normal sword is called the Ender Sword. The Ender Sword is probably the most expensive one of the group, strictly because you have to sacrifice some of your precious Ender Pearls. But if you are a professional Minecrafter and you know how to save your Ender Pearls, then there is no reason why this should be, or not save, but you know, maybe you built an Ender farm, so you know how to farm for Ender Pearls, or something. So, oops, why did I close that? So let's go ahead and see. Now the Ender Sword, okay, hang on. So the Ender Sword has a damage of 5 and a durability, durability of 1,000. And basically, the Ender Sword is just your basic normal sword, but I bet you can guess what it does. And you're right. It launches Ender Pearls. Not only does it launch Ender Pearls, it gives you resistance for a certain amount of time, so that by the time it lands, you don't get hurt from the Ender Pearls. So it's pretty good. It's basically unlimited Ender Pearls, because it doesn't matter how many you use. You can keep launching them and keep on launching them, and you won't get hurt as long as you use your Ender Pearls. I mean, as long as you use this sword, it cannot hurt you. So, you know, you can get to the scale of mountains. The only way you're going to get damaged is if you know, for some reason that I can't fathom, decide that you want to, I don't know, Ender Pearl into a pit of lava or something. That's the only way that it's gonna hurt you. Alright, let's get back down here. And we're gonna use the Ender Sword to do it. Alright, that is the Ender Sword. Now, on to the upgraded swords. Let me go ahead and get rid of these creepers real quick. Alright, and here we go. Okay. So, now on to the upgraded swords. Now, these swords you use, and you can take the swords you have and upgrade them. Now, not every sword in the mod is able to be upgraded. I think it might be because he's not completely 100% done with the mod, or what. Now, there are 2 tiers of, but that's just how it was. This is all that was on the forum, anyway. Now, the, get out! Now, the first sword is the Peaceful Nature Sword, and this is really cheap to make as long as you already have the Earth Sword. So you take an Earth Sword, you put it at the bottom, you put sugarcane, and then 3 saplings around it in that fashion in the crafting bench. Say this is your crafting bench. Now, oh, excuse me, Now, the saplings, and I did test this out, you don't have to use jungle saplings. You can use any of the saplings available to you in Minecraft. Now, what this Peaceful Nature Sword has, the Peaceful Nature Sword has a damage of 5, a durability of 2,000, so that's pretty good, and it summons 4 wood columns instead of, the dirt columns, and it also gives you resistance. So that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and we're going to go over here and use it. And let's see, we're running away, and boom, 4 wood columns surrounding you. Look at that. How cool is... Get away from me. How cool is that? And it gives you resistance for 5 minutes this time instead of, I believe it was only 1 minute for the first time, if I remember correctly. Alright, now the next upgraded sword is the Meteor Sword. Now this one is a little hard to create. You got to get your hands on a fire charge. So I believe those are craftable. I don't know. I've never crafted one. I've never really needed to because just flint and steel. But the Meteor Sword here, and basically you craft it by putting the fire sword in the bottom, just like you did with the earth sword. You put 4 blaze powders on the side, 1 blaze rod in the middle, and a fire charge at the top. Now, this Meteor Sword has a damage of 7, a durability of 1,500, and it basically has every single effect that the fire sword has, plus it throws a fire charge. How cool is that? You can hurt your enemies and explode them with a fire charge. That, honestly, that is just too damn cool, in my opinion. That's the best part of this mod, in my opinion. You just, hey, look, oh my god, there's a zombie in a cave down here. Oh, we're gonna die. Oh no, no, Meteor Sword, boom, boom, boom. And obviously it doesn't summon it in the middle of the air. Boom. All right, sorry, I'm having a little too much fun with the Meteor Sword. All right, so that is the Meteor Sword, and I must have accidentally deleted it or tossed it or something, but whatever, don't care. Alright, so, and that also adds a fire resistance on you for what looks like 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes. Okay, next sword in our, and these particles are annoying me, hang on, okay, that's better. Alright, next sword, and I'm in the wrong spot, will be the Ice Sword. The Ice Sword is really, really simple to make. Obviously, you need a water sword, and then place the snowballs in this fashion on a 6x6 crafting grid, and then simply, well, basically, the Ice Sword has a damage of 7, a durability of 2,000, and when you hit an entity, any entity, whether it be a mob or, a pig or a cow or something, it knocks them back about 5 squares. And it's supposed to, and oh, that's what it doesn't, I'm sorry, it doesn't knock them back. That's a different sword. I was reading wrong. Basically, what it does is it freezes your enemies in place. See? Now, he's mad at me, and he can see me, but he can't chase me because he's frozen. And it said that, I believe it said for about 1 minute, it freezes your enemies. However, and this is the dangerous part, if you freeze a creeper in survival mode, here, let me, if you freeze a creeper and you get close to it, he may be frozen, but he'll still explode. So, bear that in mind next time. Alright, now, for the next upgraded sword, we are going to show you, is the last, there's 2 tiers of upgrades, I forgot to mention that, and this is tier 1. And this is the last one in the tier 1, is the Thunder Shock Sword. You take a Thunder Sword and surround it in a crafting grid with 8 redstones, and now the Thunder Shock Sword has a damage of 7, a durability of 2,000, and this is the sword that blasts your enemies away for 5 blocks. So, boom, 5 blocks away. See, that doesn't actually seem like, well, hold on. Oh, that's what it does. And it also adds speed, which the forum forgot to mention. So that's what happens. When you have to right-click it if you want to use this ability. But when you right-click it, it summons things. Okay, so it does the same thing. You know what? I bet you this seems glitched to me. Because, oh, this is not... Hitting that, that's not 5 blocks away. It might be. It does knock them back further than the average weapon, though. So that's still pretty cool. I just feel like the coding in that is something is not right. Unless that is 5 blocks and I'm just tripping. Why are there zombie pigmen? Oh, you know what? That's right. That's what happens when you summon... That's what happens when a pig gets struck by lightning. I forgot about that. So I must have struck some pigs with lightning. That's pretty awesome. I probably could have used them as a demonstration. Oh well. Alright, now the only tier 2 upgrade is this sword here. The peaceful nature... Oh. Where's that? The wild nature sword. And it's basically the same crafting recipe as the peaceful nature sword, except instead of saplings, you use cactuses. And it creates the wild nature sword, which looks... kind of funky, actually. Now, the Wild Nature Sword has a damage of 5, a durability of 2,000, and but however, it does have 2 different abilities that the Peaceful Nature Sword did not have, and that will be, as soon as I fix that, when you right-click it, it summons 4 cactuses around you. It gives you resistance of 5 for 5 minutes, which basically... I mean, that's what, all of these, see? Ooh, that time day sensor. Gotta love it. But yeah, and, also, forgot about this ability for a second. When you hit a mob with it, it poisons them. So, they get damaged, basically, over time, I believe. Any second now. You know, I just realized it poisons them, but I don't think mobs can die from hunger. So that's kind of pointless. Now, the only way that this would be useful is, let's say you want to set up, I don't know, some kind of PvP server with this mod on. And you have these swords stashed, or the ability to craft some of these swords. Well, that would be pretty cool. You know, you can use this. Let's say you want to make your own special Hunger Games server with this mod on it. You know, and I'm referencing Hunger Games because, well, I love Hunger Games. This would be a great mod to do it with because it's all sorts of different types of swords. It would just add an interesting element to the Hunger Games, I think. All right, now on to the final portion of our recording. Here is the where are my notes? There we go. The mixed swords. Now, in this mod, you have the ability to take swords and mix them to combine their effects. So, the first one we have is the Thunderstorm Sword. It has a knockback of 10, so it does the same knockback thing. And it's really easily crafted. As long as you have a wind sword and a thunder sword, all you need to do is have the ability to craft an iron sword, and boom, you got it. Alright, so, the Thunderstorm Sword has a damage of 6, a durability of 2,000, and what in the world does impulse mean? That's right, I wrote down something in the forum. It said adds impulse to player, so... Oh. Okay. That was weird. It, like, teleports you away. Whoa! That was weird. That's really weird. It's kind of like... Okay, I need to stop because this is completely screwing up my frame rate. Alright, that's really weird. It basically has all the abilities of a wind, a thunder sword, and a wind sword, except that when you click it, apparently, it launches you across the way. That's kind of interesting. That is really, really, really interesting. I like that a lot. Alright, let me drink this milk and move on to the next sword. Alright, the next sword in our chests here is the Meteoric Thunderstorm Sword. It adds the fire aspect of 10, so you'll catch mobs on fire just like this. And like the Thunderstorm Sword over here, it adds something different from the Thunderstorm Sword. What does it do exactly? Alright, well the Thunderstorm... blah, 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 sorry. The Meteoric Thunderstorm Sword has a damage of 9, a durability of 3,000. Its effect basically just mixes the thunderstorm and the meteor sword effect from the upgrades. So if we click it, and it fires a fire charge wherever you wind up going. So, boom. or maybe it's wherever that lightning bolt strikes. It adds a, yeah, it's wherever the lightning bolt strikes, it adds the, ability. So it looks like, well, that's pretty, it's pretty damn cool. Alright, so that is the Thunder Sword. It also gives you speed, jump, and fire resistance. A lot of these grant you speed. A lot of these are used for, like, getting away from a horde of mobs and stuff, it looks like. Okay, next sword is the Ender Fire Sword. Now, the Ender Fire Sword basically adds all the effects to the regular swords, or adds Ender effects to all the other swords with the same name. That would be basically the Fire Sword. And so you can do the same thing with Fire Swords, but it also launches an Ender Pearl. Ta-da! And it looks like the only effect that it doesn't do, that does add fire resistance, the only thing it doesn't do is add the 4 fire pillars around you. But, of course, it will catch, you know, bacon on fire, and kill it, and, you know, look at that. Cooked bacon. How simple. Alright, so that is the Fire Sword. Same with some of the other swords we're about to show you. This sword is the Ender Wind Sword. Basically, has knockback, but also adds speed, just like the wind, a jump boost for it, and you get the Ender Pearl. So if you want to have a sword with a specific ability, but you also want to have the ability to launch Ender Pearls, well, then you take one of these swords, obviously. That's basically what these swords seem to be doing for you. So the next one will be the Ender Thunder Sword, not the Thunderstorm Sword. And basically, it bolts the lightning, I think, probably right behind you, or somewhere around you, and then you use an Ender Pearl. And it also grants you speed for some reason, because a lot of these swords do that. So that's pretty awesome. Now the final sword, and probably one of my favorites, the most interesting sword, in my opinion, is not a Ender Sword. It's called the Time Sword. Sounds pretty cool, right? And you make a Time Sword. Oh, in case you didn't notice, all of the Ender Swords are made by having an Ender, or all the Ender combined swords are made by having an Ender Sword and a specific sword, fire, thunder, water sword, to make that specific Ender Wind Sword. Same way that you make all the other ones, you make them in this fashion, with basically an iron sword here, or the iron sword makeup here, and then the here, and then the 2 swords on the side, and you can actually mix and match. It can be on either side, so that's cool. But now the Time Sword. The Time Sword has a damage of 7, a durability of 2000, and it basically combines the light swords and the dark side and the dark sword's abilities, except that when you use it, it doesn't blind the player. So if we click it, it turns it to night. Now it's going to turn it directly back to day, because that's the ability they have, but it turns you invisible, and it adds night vision to you. So that's pretty cool, in my opinion. But let's take a look at that one more time. Boom, night, and it's going to turn it back to day. But night, day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night, day, night, day. I'm trying to beat the command block. Alright, well, the guys, that has been this very first episode. Kind of rocky, I realize that, but, you know, I'm okay with that. But as the sun sets off, or is that rising? As the sun rising, as the sun rises off in the distance, let's go ahead and make the sun officially rise. Look at that sun rising, that's so pretty. But as the sun rises off in the distance, and I drink my milk and go into F5 mode, I don't have my skin on for some reason. That is weird. Where's my skin? That's bugging me. I'll fix that. I didn't even realize I didn't have my skin on. That's not good. That's not good at all. Alright, but anyway, that is the mod today. It's called the Cyan Warriors mod. I'll include a link in the description to the website where you can download this mod and try it for yourself. I recommend it. It's pretty fun. It can make an interesting little fighting element in Minecraft, make it a little funner to fight. Maybe you want to mess around on an adventure map with this mod, activate it and, you know, not follow the adventure map's rules or something. Or, you know, maybe you want to set up some kind of server PvP thing with these kinds of swords, or an RPG adventure map with this mod. You know, it's got so many endless possibilities that you could use for this particular sword. So, yeah, I guess that is it, ladies and germs. Without further ado, this has been SnakeMCGaming, and this has been It's Modding Time. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.